Hello! A couple years ago I saw a video from Tom Scott called Every Mistake I've Made Since 2014. And that was the first mistake I made because it made me realize I wanted to do something like that at some point. So now I had to make mistakes. I won't be counting possible mistakes in these 4 balloons tower defense videos because they were mostly just me trying stuff out, and same goes for the older videos here. So I'm just gonna count them as one big mistake. Alright, let's get to some actual anomalies. Official oopsies, factual fallacies, logical losses, wrong writing, ruptured reality. The main thing with this video is, this is not exactly how these animations are probably made. Most game engines or even programs like Blender provide physics simulations, so the animations are probably made using those. Not really a mistake, but something I should point out. Here I made a meme about working on a cube instead of gameplay or a core game mechanic. Now that was a bit silly because gameplay is made up of game mechanics, plus the cube was like 70% of the game anyway. Not a huge mistake, but here I mentioned what would happen if you rotated the cube a certain way. The arrow at the top suggests turning it counterclockwise while the images show a clockwise rotation. Here I say all of the middle while it should have been all of the left. I put these tiny stickers on the Rubik's Cube to make it easier to understand, but what I didn't realize though was that they would be really hard to remove afterwards. Not a mistake, but that's called Defenestration. It means throwing someone out of the window as a punishment. Here I wrote click it to and pause the video, and that's just a typo, but it should have said click it and pause the video. Yep, just talking about the jam, no mistakes. The mistake here is a bit more personal. I just remember this video as being not that good, but watching it back, it's not that bad. That's it. I guess the second mistake is the thumbnail. I really don't like these kind of thumbnails, so sorry about that. So right off the bat, I say all Doom, Prince of Persia and Donkey Kong Country use digitization. This is not true. Donkey Kong Country uses 3D renders and turns them into sprites, so this is not technically digitization. The result has a similar vibe and that's why I included it, but I should have mentioned that. Someone mentioned that they were actually animated before being digitized. When I looked it up, it seemed like they were animated afterwards, but this makes more sense. Here I make the amazing pun of I hope I don't go to Helvetica for my Comic Sans. The Helvetica and Comic Sans were meant to be in their respective fonts, but apparently that's not actually Helvetica. Okay, so this one I'm still not sure about. I mentioned staircasing here, by which I meant the method of drawing each line of the sprite a little further. People mentioned this was called skewing, and yeah, it is called skewing. I just don't think my method has a name though, and that's why I jokingly gave it a name. That said though, it probably is still considered skewing, and I will shortly be getting sued for patent infringements. Here I call hiragana one of the alphabets, while they're not actually called alphabets. They have different names like writing systems and such. It felt a bit too complicated to mention in the video though. Wow, this is quite a few mistakes, huh? But that's not all. At the start of the video I mentioned the Tom Scott video which I watched a couple years ago. That's false, because the video was uploaded at the end of last year, which means I couldn't have watched it a couple years ago. I could have watched it at most a little over 1 year ago. Alright, so that's like 15 mistakes for 8 videos, which is immediately wrong because I didn't include this one, so that's 16 mistakes for 9 videos. Which is also bad practice because 4 of those were jokes, so that's a nice 12 mistakes for 9 videos. Which is 1.333 or about 0.75 videos per mistake. So not bad for a day in the life of a dog food company. But that's it. Guess I'll see you next year, huh? Good night 2024.